Today is August 10th, 2016, and I want to give the tale of Miss the Train. This was on the first Hellboys album, Cha Cha with the Hellboys, Miss the Train. Now, what's interesting about this tune, there's many interesting things about this tune. First of all, it's 17 minutes and 3 seconds. How could this be? How did this happen? Well, the story is it's all about 9/11. And there was a underlying story. I'm going to give a separate tale about my experiences with 9/11, but I'll talk about the experience with creating this tune or how this tune came to us. During the aftermath of 9/11, there were lots of stories that came out. And one story that was kind of interesting to me was that there was a woman who was getting on the trying to get on the PATH train coming over from probably Exchange Place in New Jersey, trying to get on that train. And this happens to us all the time. You're just about to the door closes. And apparently, the story went on that apparently she was pounding on the door, missed the train. Well, that was the last train that got into PATH, got into the World Trade Center. That was the attack. So, there's no, there are words in Miss the Train, but the idea behind it was that it's in several parts. At the opening, if you listen carefully, the opening is this just on the electric guitar, kind of a beat, whatever that is. But right before the main tune hits, there's a little bit of a pause, out of sync a little bit. And my vision of that was the pilot or the two pilots on the first hit, the first attack, that just before they hit, and this is probably fantasy, but just before they hit, they recognized, this is wrong. Now that's a fantasy of mine perhaps, or an idealistic, or maybe it actually happened, but that's the depiction of that little moment right there. The other thing about this tune is that we were working on it in Los Angeles, and it wasn't exactly Los Angeles, it was a suburb of Los Angeles. And in the studio was Tony Jabal, myself, two of the three, it was Bird and Paul, two of the three California guitar trios, and the engineer is named Ronan, yeah. So we're in there, and we started playing this tune, and I had the beat with it and so forth, and we wound up changing the guitar tuning, and we called it Super G, and it went from the 6th string, C, G, C, G, C, G. All right, so the C is there, the G is there, the D goes down to C, you get the idea, the A goes down to G. So we have C, G, C, G, C, G. It's really kind of an interesting tuning because you don't have to use the left hand. But anyway, we do use the left hand. So back to the situation. So we have now the opening, the depiction of this, and the primary beat, the primary musical aspect of this is a depiction of what's going on inside the tower, inside the first tower that was hit. And my body aches, I cannot breathe, I cannot see, I cannot hear, I'm falling. Those are the words there. My body aches, I cannot hear. Well, let me look at that, make sure I'm right about that. I have the lyrics right here. Let's see if I got that right. Mr. Train, my body aches, I have no breath. I cannot hear, I cannot see, I'm on fire, I'm falling. This is what came to me. My body aches. I have no breath. I cannot hear. I cannot see. I'm on fire. I'm falling. That's the voice throughout. And you can hear the guitar and the craziness of what's going on there and the horror of it. And that goes on for many, many minutes. And there's a point, and I've lost track of when this is. It's in the maybe 11-minute, 12-minute mark, something like that, maybe a little earlier than that. There's a change. And the change happens where what I was able to do, Robert was generous enough to say I could use anything from soundscapes that I wished to. So I found a tune. This was live in Argentina. And I took a portion of the soundscapes, which was the most horrible sounds you could hear. I've forgotten the name of that particular part, but we took that right out. Tony and I took that out, and we added it in there. Now we put some other parts on top of that, other instruments on top of that, like the Hellotron. We had the Hellotron, and well, that's a different story. But anyway, and what that was depicting was the second plane. That to me is what changed everything. The first plane, a lot of confusion going on, wasn't an accident. Second plane changed the world. And at that second plane, that's the timing where that piece comes together. That's the timing where we added that piece into the tune. And it goes on, and it goes on from there. We broke the tune at the end, broke it down, and giving some hope. We brought in some other beautiful soundscapes and some other things as well, added in there, so that we could cool everything down. And that's what we hope we've accomplished there with the 17 minutes. So you have the opening, Miss the Train, the words, what's going on inside the tower, the horror inside the tower. You then have the second plane hitting, more horror, terrible. Listen to that sound as if, when you listen to the tune, listen to that part, have it's indescribable. And then the resolution of this, at least we're leaving it with hope. So that's the story of that tune.